So we're sitting in the bar, you're telling me this story, and I'm going back to the days of college, and I'm going, for real, for real? Are you serious? You can't make this up, man. What? What we're talking about is Discovery Channel's Expedition from Hell, The Lost Tapes. I have executive producer David Freid and expedition participant Alexander Hernandez talking about this limited series. So I want to start with David first. How did you first hear about this, and what made you say, I'm going to put this on Discovery?
This was something that was floating around LA for a few years. People had known this story. Mickey Grossman, who is a former Special Forces demolitions expert, gets a bug up his butt in 2012 to cross the entire length of South America through the Amazon jungle from the West Coast to the East Coast, and he does it all on camera. This guy brought 3 pretty high quality cameras with him into the jungle with all the associated accessories, from chargers to batteries and tapes and hard drives and all these things that make doing an expedition that much harder. So clearly a priority was put on making sure this thing was seen. So he comes back with hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage, very unorganized, random clips put into random folders all over the place, nothing in line with the time, the day, the location. That was stuff we all had to piece together. And in those earliest days when we inherited this footage from the Amazon 5000 and started combing through it to see what we had on our hands, it was really soon that we saw this wasn't going to be just another, Discovery style expedition survivor show. Nothing that you see is exactly what you think it is at first. And we saw that very early on in the footage.
All right, Alexander, how in the world did you get involved in all of this? And what was it like?
If we were in a bar having this discussion, I might say, hey, get ready, have another drink, or don't have another drink, because drinking was what got me into this thing. I was at a chamber event. I'm at a chamber event with a bunch of people in suits, and we're all sitting, talking about business. And here comes this beautiful young woman and says, hey, do you want to help kids with cancer and save the planet? It's going to be tough. We may cross some swamps, but it'll be great for the world. I'm like, yeah, sign me up, as I'm drinking my wine. So be careful how much you drink, you never know what you're going to end up signing for.
So what was it like on this trek, this expedition for you? What was it like?
The Amazon has this very strange sort of juxtaposition of life, both beautiful and at the same time, oh my God, you could die at any one moment. It's like life, but at an extreme. So you're in it. That's all I can say. When you're in it, you're going, oh my God, what am I doing here? This is crazy.
All right, David, you've gone through these hundreds of hours of footage, and you've got to piece this whole thing together. I'm a producer too. So how did you actually get this done? And then how did you hook up with Alexander here?
Yeah, so once we knew that this was a show, once we at least felt that it was a show, early on we had called a couple of these participants like Alex, did some pre-interviews, talked to them about their stories. This is also very helpful for us as we're trying to piece this together to just get some firsthand accounts of what happened. But a lot of these accounts, although they matched up, they never really matched up perfectly. There was always some variance in the story, like just enough to make me put on a tinfoil cap and go, what the hell? Why does everyone have such a different experience of this thing? So once Discovery comes on board, we pitched this, they loved it. And once they came on board, we scaled up. We brought in a full team of producers and story producers led by Aaron Gamble, who really went through all of this and organized it into something digestible. The first thing we really had to do was just try and find a beginning, middle, and end of this expedition, try and lay it out in a timeline type order. You know, we called this like a digital forensics with this footage, where we would take a clip, look at the metadata, then pair that with what's happening inside of a scene. You know, like we might all of a sudden see something like completely random, something that looks like a kidnapping, something that looks like, why is this person bleeding all of a sudden? And then put those little pieces together to really try and tell us the whole story. But it really wasn't until the very end of that process that we discovered something much bigger that I can't give away, but it happens around the 4th and 5th episode that really flips this thing on its head.
I've been speaking with executive producer David Freid and expedition participant Alexander Hernandez about Discovery Channel's Expedition from Hell, The Lost Tapes. And I'm going to bring Alexander to St. Louis. We're going to be at a bar and we're going to act like Lewis and Clark and do the same thing across the U.S. So, guys,
we may end up signing up all over again, man. We may do this one more time.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Just film it for me, guys.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you so much.